Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the bonus footage from my time with the China Lake, the leftover clips and whatnot, over which I shall be answering some of the questions left on the actual China Lake Weapon Guide video. Of course, I realise it's now Sunday, it's 3 AM Sunday night, and I'm only just getting around to record this, but, well, you can thank Black Mesa's release for that. Also, I've been playing Faster Than Light as well. I picked that up today, and I've discovered that that is also a pretty good game, so plenty of time squandered on video gaming. Oh, how dare I. Anyway, I should move on to your questions. I am drinking what am I drinking? A Young's Double Chocolate Stout, which is, it's actually pretty good. It does taste, you know, chocolatey and a roasted malt, and it's wonderfully dark. For the longest time, I always thought I didn't like stouts, but it turns out that I do actually quite like a nice stout. Porters, too. They're also pretty nice beers. So I've been sort of exploring the darker side of the stuff that I've missed out upon. But I shall save that for a Beverage Guide Express, and we shall now answer the first question. Jesus Lol 2 says, what's your opinion on YouTubes? Should they be as powerful as they were in COD 4/MW2? Do you agree with the huge nerf they got in Blops? Also, melons or turnips? I think as far as damage is concerned, I think Black Ops got the mix right. I think the China Lake could use a buff. The handling is just it's dreadful on it. But as far as the underslung weapons are concerned, they weren't bad. I mean, they weren't the death cannons of MW2, but you could get kills with them, and there was a fairly reliable counter in Flak Jacket. The only thing I didn't like about Black Ops is the way that they hampered supply of the grenades. I think, well, obviously you don't want something like one-man army, but having Scavenger replenish grenades, even if, you know, only one at a time, I think that would be fine in Black Ops. Because, I mean, as far as grenade supply is concerned, I mean, I found with the China Lake, if I ran out of China Lake grenades, I could just kill myself and I'd have another 4. So I can't really see being able to replenish with Scavenger being a huge issue. I mean, I can already resupply my frag grenades, and they're arguably more deadly. So, yeah, I don't know, I think if they maybe were a bit more generous with the supply in Black Ops, that could have worked better. As far as melons versus turnips, well, I've got to go with the melons, I think. Line Rider Fan 96 says, Stu, do you ever get messages from people in the game you're playing saying that they recognise you and have seen your videos? Yes, it does happen, yes. In a typical play session of about 2-3 hours, I'll probably get maybe about 2 or 3 messages, so probably, yeah, about a rate of 1 per hour on average. And invariably, it's good people. I don't know why, but it's always the best people in the lobbies that send me messages. I guess, you know, if you spend longer playing a game, you're more likely to be invested in the YouTube scene for that game, so I guess that goes hand in hand, but almost invariably it's some guy pummeling my idiotic teammates and getting dogs and chopper gunners, who then sends me a message in the lobby afterwards. Liverpool Giant says, Stu, milk chocolate or dark chocolate? Now, you see, I like a bit of both. I do like a dark chocolate, but if we're talking about consumption, well, you can't discount the creamy. Dark chocolate's rich, and ultimately, you know, a couple of squares of it, and I don't want any more chocolate, but give me 200 grams of Galaxy, and well, you've got yourself a chocolate party going on. Some random Aaron says, hey Stu, what's your favourite season? Personally, I'm a fan of winter, as I cannot stand being too hot. I must confess, I'm not a big fan of summer, on account of the fact that I don't have air conditioning in my office. Well, nobody's got air conditioning in the UK. Because, well, 9 times out of 10 we don't need it. But in those hot, sticky summer months, August, July, it can get a bit uncomfortable in my office, so I tend not to favour those hotter days. So I don't know about winter, though. I think winter's a little bit too cold. I prefer, I think, the sort of the fading summer days of autumn. September, October. Yeah, no, I like the weather we have about now. It's a little bit rainy here in Manchester. But on a dry day in autumn, it's just about perfect. Early spring's pretty good as well, although early spring has the disadvantage in that it does lead directly to summer. Commissar Yarrick says, I have one question. Have you ever considered making weapon guide for care package weapons? The Death Machine and Grim Reaper. I have to say, at this stage it's unlikely, simply for the fact that Black Ops 2 is on the horizon, and I do want to take a little bit of time off before I start cranking out those guides. I don't know, I don't mind playing Black Ops again, but I'm a little bit burnt out on it, so just sort of play with the care package enabled for hours upon end, just to hope for the chance to get a Grim Reaper, and then to hope to get semi-decent clips with the Grim Reaper. I don't know, it doesn't sound like my idea of fun, so I can pretty much categorically say that it's unlikely to happen for Black Ops. However, for Black Ops 2, I do have an ambition to sort of cover a broader spectrum of content, not just the weapons. I think I mentioned in the last bonus footage that I do hope to cover stuff like perks, kill streaks, equipment, and I suppose, yeah, like I say, the kill streak weapons are a likely candidate as well. I don't know how comprehensively I'll cover them. I'm not sure if I'll do like a 10-minute guide on the death machine. But you can probably expect like a 3-4 minute guide at the very least. So we'll see. Anyway, it's looking like for Black Ops 2, I'll have a full year of YouTube production. So the only real limit on the breadth of content that I'll cover is how sick I get of Black Ops 2. Now, it was a particularly forced pun this week with the China Lake, and amongst others, Jacob STX pointed out, like a bull in a china shop, Stu, you need to watch more Mythbusters. I do actually watch Mythbusters, and I have seen the episode in question, so I am aware that bulls are relatively dainty when presented with shelves of china plates and whatnot. But I was playing more to the idiom than the actual reality of a bull in a china shop. You have to forgive me for that. I wasn't entirely happy with the pun for the China Lake, if I'm honest. It was a bit of a stretch, whichever way you slice it, but at the end of the day, it is just but a moment of levity at the end of an altogether serious video, so I don't sweat the details too much. It's tough. I mean, it's possible to go too clever with a pun that works on maybe too many levels, or that makes a particularly obscure reference that people just don't get. So I try to err on the side of a reference that people will actually understand. But sometimes the understandable pun is not always the best pun possible. Anyway, like I say, it doesn't really matter. I have confidence that the stoner pun is a little better, though. I think I quite like this week's pun. So we'll see. We'll see what the reaction to that is. The Dead Space Monkey says, "Hey Stu, are you looking forward to playing Borderlands 2, or are you not going to buy it?" Well, I've actually had it pre-ordered for quite some time now. I am actually rather looking forward to it. And hopefully, in the brief time that I have off before Black Ops 2 arrives, I'll have the opportunity to, play through fully and co-op and eke as much fun as possible out of that game. But yes, I do absolutely plan on playing Borderlands 2. The Biomanic says, "Quick question, Stuart. Seeing as you're a Civilization fan, is there a Civ or leader you prefer to play as?" Well, as far as Civilization 5 is concerned, I tend to play as a new civilization every single game. If only for the reason to sort of test out their unique abilities, and also because there's an achievement linked with each civilization. And given that a typical game could last several days, it's little wonder that I haven't quite covered all of the leaders yet. Also, with the addition of Gods and Kings, there's a whole bunch of new civilizations. There's the Polish, there's the Dutch. So, there's a whole bunch of new achievements, there's a whole bunch of new people to play as, so yeah, I generally try someone new every time I play, and, well, given that I don't have nearly as much time as I'd like to play Civilization, I haven't played all of them yet. Vinzix asks, "Where is your next playthrough? Syndicate was so enjoyable to watch." I may do a playthrough whilst I'm not posting on Xbox Ahoy for a few weeks. Like I say, recently I've been playing Black Mesa. I was thinking about doing videos for that, although I don't know. Some games I think maybe would be harmed by doing a playthrough, because I think a game like Black Mesa, for me it's very much a sort of a personal experience of sort of reliving Half-Life, and to open that up takes away some of the I don't know. I could do a playthrough of Black Mesa, although I don't really want to do a virgin playthrough of it, because I just want to barrel through and not have to worry about making videos. I kind of want to do like tactical games. I want to do maybe Civilization. That's a potential, although I don't think it's that interesting to watch. I think UFO Enemy Unknown, the first one definitely, maybe the new Firaxis one. I'm not sure when that's out. I think it's October sometime. But yeah, if that's any good, definitely do some of that, because I think if it plays like the first game, the first in the series, the '94 release, then it will be absolutely fantastic for videos. I think just the sort of the emergent nature of that game really would lend itself to kind of a certain style of video. So that's a definite. I also picked up, like I say, Faster Than Light, or FTL, today actually, and I've already sunk a couple of hours into that. And again, there's emerging gameplay in that, which I think would work really well. So I may do a playthrough on that. I may do a playthrough on the new XCOM game, or who knows? Whatever I'm playing. In the gap between Black Ops and Black Ops 2, I probably will do something on this channel. But I couldn't promise you what. It'll be whatever comes naturally. Chalupa Taco Meister says, "Arg, the puns, they burn, lol." But anyway, here's a question. How'd you like your steak? I like my steak inversely proportional to the quality and faith I have in the person cooking it. That is to say, if I'm cooking a prime cut of beef myself, and I know its provenance and I know that it's fresh, I'll have it rare. I actually, I get steak delivered. I have an organic delivery service. I love it because it's subscription deliveries. I can just set it up and I don't have to worry about it. But anyway, every fortnight, every 2 weeks, I get some sirloin steak delivered, and it's always fresh. It's always good. So I cook it pretty rare, and I have my cooking technique down to an art now. I like to trim the fat, and I like to season very simply, usually just garlic and salt. And what I do is I use a cast iron pan. I get it very, very hot, and I cook for a minute on either side, and then let it rest for about 5-10 minutes. Other than that, I try to interfere with the meat as little as possible. Just sort of, let the natural beefy flavours come through, and that's, yeah, that comes out rather nice every time. If, however, I'm in a dodgy chain pub, I'm quite content to take my steak medium rare, which, medium rare seems to be code for well done in most pubs, which is strange. But, yeah, I don't have much faith in pub cooks, so I'm quite content to take my meat a little over grilled. Should I find myself in a finer restaurant, though, I'm more content to take it rare. I wouldn't go for anything blue. I don't think I don't know. I like my meat warm, at least. Blue is maybe a little bit too rare. But seared on the outside and red in the middle, that's about perfect for me. Alright, time for one more. Devilish DDG says, "Hey Stu, salted or sweet?" And you can't say the FNFAL. I presume here we're talking about popcorn. I can't think of anything else that would be either salted or sweet. But in the case of popcorn, I do prefer a salted popcorn. I don't know why, but I see popcorn as kind of being more of a savoury thing than a sweet thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have quite the sweet tooth, but no, if I'm having popcorn, then it's invariably going to be salted. I guess I don't have anything against sweet popcorn. I mean, toffee popcorn is okay. It's just, I don't know, I find it gets a little bit sickly after a while. Anyway, that's enough of the inane questions. I should probably wrap this up because it's, like I say, it's Sunday already. I need to be uploading the weapon guide, and well, as soon as I wake up, pretty much. So, of course, today it is the Stoner 63. That leaves us with only 5 weapon guides left to do, which are, for the purposes of completeness, the HS-10, the PSG-1, the CZ-75, the Kypros, and the G11. And I must confess, I'm not looking forward to the PSG-1 because, I don't know, sniping in Black Ops has always been kind of a pain. I think the situation has improved from the days when I originally produced the other sniper rifle guides. But the slower style of play is at odds with how I usually like to play with any given weapon. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I shall join you tomorrow for the Stoner guide, and hopefully sooner in the week I'll get around to doing the Stoner bonus footage. Anyway, until next time, farewell.